working mostly in the middle, so it's not going to be a huge deal. But I do want to kind of give you a heads up about what is happening, so you kind of know in advance. All right, so I sketched out some grapes, and thank you, Ellen. And then I was like, well, that doesn't look right, because I'm going to do my bottle like over here, and then have the grapes. And I was like, well, that looks dumb. So I had to lay them down. So I just twisted my tracer. So if you're in the group and you get this tracer, realize that you're gonna have to turn it to suit you. Here is our canvas side, all right? This would work really well on an 11 by 14 as well, okay? So this is our canvas size. This is our bottle. Let me pull this down a little. And so I'm having to twist my tracer to accommodate the grapes, right? Okay, so, and then we're gonna paint our grapes just with our little daubers. We're just gonna dab on some purple paint, not do anything too crazy. We'll paint our leaves. And then we're gonna use these purple flat gems to give our grapes dimension, okay? So that's the plan. But before we get there, we got background work to do, y'all. We got background, right? Because my goal is base coat in this color. Then we're gonna dab on some of the pumpkin-y color. This is actually called burnt orange, just to give us like a French dark, I don't know. Every time I see a piece of art that has a wine bottle, it has a dark background. So that's kind of where I'm going. Then we're gonna stencil on with a little metallic gold, just a little bit of this script, all right? So we gotta get started. We got to get started, y'all. All right, so I am gonna grab a sponge brush, because that is going to make quicker work of our background. All right, so I'm literally going to just sponge on. That's right, Devin. That's what I was trying to say, but sometimes my words don't match what's in my brain. Yes, so my entire house, when I moved from Memphis to Destin, my Memphis house was Tuscan. It was like all French country. These were the colors. And then I moved to Destin, and I was like, none of my furnishings match where I live now. So we're going to base coat in the yellow, okay? This is Golden Glow, and we're just going to, yes, Dick Blick. But if you can't get just get 11 by 14 if you can't get this one. This is a Dick Blick size. We're just gonna base coat the whole canvas, sides and all, with the yellow first, all right? Quick and easy. Let's shake her up and get the potty, started. There we are. So let's get some of this out. And I'm gonna start with my sides. All right, so just get it on, just get it on. Yep. And we're just gonna do our sides. I know this is the boring part. And oftentimes I think I should just base coat the canvas before we go live. But then the times that I do that, everybody's like, oh, what'd you do? We want to see how you did the background. So this is what you get. All right, so I'm just gonna go all the way around my edges with this yellowy color. And if you don't have Golden Glow, which is what this is, any like chamois. It's like the color of one of those little chamois that you use to clean your car with, right? All right. So, remind me to show you the back of my canvas, because I did put a little board in back, a little cardboard. So remind me to show you that once we get this yellow dry. All right, so I can show you kind of what I did, because my canvas was kind of floppy. It was not really tight, you know, like drum tight. So I did like cut out some cardboard for the back side so we didn't have sinking. We don't want sinking. All right, so I'm gonna flip this over real quick and just show you what I mean. It is the color of Grey Poupon, Dijon mustard. Okay, so this canvas was having a little flippy floppy problem, okay? So it was just not as tight as I wanted it to be. If it has a little sink in it, I did mist it with water, but I still felt it wasn't quite tight enough for the bottle. Thank you, Kelly. So here's what I've done. So I've taken my canvas, flip it over, and I cut a piece of cardboard. This is literally a piece of a priority box from the back in the warehouse. So I cut it a little bit wider than the hole, okay? So now all you gotta do is tuck that in and scooch it, make sure it's in the middle, and voila. Thank you, Angela. That is going to help. First live. Hey, girl. Hey, welcome. So that helps keep that from sinking in the middle. Thank you guys for the stars. Thank you. So now we got the sides done. I've shown you how I have braced the back. And so I'm just going to get this color on the top as well. Now this is what I like to call a ground coat, all right? It's not really my background because we are going to put another color on top of this, but the orangey color on top of the white is going to be too translucent. It would take forever. So don't worry when you're putting your Grey Poupon color on. Don't worry if it's not perfectly, like if it's a little blotchy, don't stress about that, okay? Because we are going to put another color on top and probably intermix some more of this color. This is just adding a little bit of color to our canvas so we're not having to do 73 coats. All right, so let me get that on. And then we're gonna hit this with our dryer, our heat gun, so we can just keep moving forward with no problems, all right? So one full coat of the Grey Poupon, Monsieur. Sprinkled, thank you for the sprinkles. So let's dry this with our heat gun. This is my Seek 1 heat gun from Amazon. Love it. It's my BFF. We're gonna get it dry. Hey y'all, hey. Thank you guys for the sprinkles, by the way. I'm gonna tape that down. Otherwise, it's gonna get lost in transition. Hey Sherry. Thank you, Maureen. So let's get this coat dry. Whew. Let me see. Now, all right, now we're gonna let that cool off a minute. That's nice and warm. We don't wanna paint on top of a hot canvas. I'm gonna tape this side down too, because we both know that's gonna be gone. All right. Are we having some storms in Oklahoma? All right, still warm. Dixie, that's funny. Okay, trying to decide if I'm gonna keep this or not. I'm thinking no. I'm actually thinking I may use my palette knife for this next step, and because I like the way the paint looks with the palette knife, but if we get started and I'm not pleased will change out. So I'm going to use something, this is a palette knife. It's a metal palette knife. And hey, Jan, welcome, honey. This is a metal palette knife, and we're just going to use it just to move color around, okay? I'm going to scoot it towards me just a little so you can see the tippy top, and because I'm going to work from the top down, and all I'm going to do is add some burnt orange and a little more of that golden glow. I want it to blend. I'm going to be using mostly the burnt orange, and I want it to blend, but not overblend into one color. So I like to use my palette knife for that. If once we get started, I decide it's ick, then we'll make adjustments. Let me put that in water. So I'm gonna add the Americana burnt orange. Let's add some of that, and I'm gonna add it to my plate and let me scooch this over, in kind of a horizontal line so that I can scoop this up. Amy, I am waiting as patiently as I can to know that answer. I keep thinking they're gonna be here, they're gonna be here. Hey, Susan. I miss VBS when my kids were little. I'm gonna add a line of that yellow as well. And then I'm gonna grab up a napkin. So I put my paper towels. Well, my paper towels. Uh-oh. All right, I have one. I have two. Let's take one and save the other one for stenciling. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. Thank you, Amy. I know, I'm just chomping at the bit to get them. So I'm gonna start with the yellow again, all right? So the back of your palette knife, that's the bottom where it comes down, dips, and comes across the bottom. Or you're gonna work with the bottom of your knife. I'm just gonna pat it in, add a little of that paint to the underside of my knife, and then I'm going to just drag it down my canvas. And I'm gonna do maybe a quarter of my canvas this way. And I don't know if you can see this, but you'll be able to tell in the next color, because this is the, one color on the same. Like, I'm using the same color is what I'm trying to say. I don't even know how to use my words anymore. So I'm gonna go in and you'll be able to tell what I'm talking about now. So you're loading just a small thin bit of paint to your knife, okay? Thank you for the stars. And so you're gonna start at the top and very lightly. You're not scraping, okay? You're just barely touching the surface. You're gonna touch and just pull down. And then go back up and pull down and back up and pull down. And this is what I want. We're going to blend. This is also why I wanted to make sure, hey, Heidi. This is also why I wanted to make sure my canvas didn't have a dip, okay? I did not want to have a dip in my canvas, otherwise it would not create this look, right? So let's grab a little of the yellow. That's the golden glow. And let's bring some of that in. And we're just gonna go back and forth with those colors, and don't feel like you have to cover every square inch of your canvas. If some of this undercoat is sneaking through, oh, we gotta do palette knives, guys. I would rather use a palette knife than a paintbrush all day long. All right, so let's get a little yellow again. We'll grab a little of the orange. And you're just going in one direction, okay? Just pull straight down. You want to blend your colors together, but don't overblend. And don't scrape really hard, all right? You don't want it I got a little dip there. You don't want, you're applying. You're not trying to pull it off. So you don't want to be like that. You want to just barely tickle that surface. All right, so let's add a little bit of this yellow. All right, this is going to be great for the wine bottle. All right, I'm going to scooch it up a little bit. I'm actually going to go in and add a little more of the orange color. The goal is definitely to have both colors, all right? And to have those little patches. You know what I mean when I say the little patches? Like, to me, let me scooch this down. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me get yellow again. You're not gonna be able to see the yellow, but I need to wet this side. I'm gonna go up this tone. All right, let me do a little bit more. All right, now let me show you what I mean by patches, okay? So you're gonna start at the bottom and you're just barely touching the surface. You're just skimming that flat side of your palette knife onto the surface of that already wet paint. All right, so you're just gonna skim it across. And this is what I mean by patches. See how it's very organic. You're not making a specific like shape. It's just really organic and kind of like whatever happens, happens, right? I've got a little dip in this corner again. Let me scooch in. Lou, you're so funny. So I'm gonna get that yellow on and then we're gonna blend in more of the orange because that's gonna be our main color. So let me get the yellow. Just smush your palette knife into that color and very lightly, very lightly. Glide it over. I need more. It just takes practice, Joni. I've been using a palette knife or a trowel for 30 years. Probably longer than that, but it just takes practice. And here's what I like about using a palette knife. It allows you to just let it go, right? Just let go perfection and trying to stay in the lines. That's one of the things I love about a palette knife because you can't stay in the lines with a palette knife, right? There's no way. All right, orange again. So I'm gonna start in the middle. I'm gonna go up and then come back down, get a little orange. I'm gonna start up and come back down. And I am so digging this. This reminds me of the 90s when, when my whole house was done in roosters and French country. Oops. I don't know if you saw that just now, but my palette knife suctioned down to my canvas. Now that's gonna happen sometimes if you're working wet on wet. If you are a little too close to your canvas, that wet paint is just gonna suck it up. So just pull that knife back off and keep going. All right, I am pretty happy with this. I feel like I need a little more orange in a few places. This side is giving me fit, so I'm gonna go in a little bit of a different direction. And I'm gonna grab a little more of, where's my color? I'm just gonna put it right on my stinking. Ooh, I want the pitting. I want the distressy look. I want to see those patches of yellow behind the orange. So we're not trying to cover that up, all right? All right, I think we're ready to get this dry, and then we are going to address the sides. Let me turn that a little. I'm barely touching, like I said. I'm not scraping. I'm just barely gliding my palette knife across. And here we have it. Let me show you close up. And we'll turn it this way so you can kind of get. They are wine room ready, aren't they? So these are our two colors for our background. I'm gonna get the top dry, and then we're gonna put a little bit of color on the sides. All right, so let's do that. Don't forget we're stenciling too. Wouldn't this look cool with crackle under it? That's right, Lou. That's what I should have used. I should have used this, right? I should have used that. I would have made short work of it. Prima doesn't sell gold leaf sheets, she sells foil. Are you in the Shattered Circle? If you are, check the guides. This might take a hot minute to dry because that's got a lot of paint on it. Just give me a second. Actually, here's what I'm gonna do. It's about 50% dry. So real quick, while we're waiting on that, I'm trying to decide about the sides. Do I want to, I think I'm just gonna paint. It's just for quick work. You could totally do the same technique on your edges, but just for the sake of time, I am going to just run some of the orange paint onto my edges. And we'll let a little bit of that yellow peek through. All right, so I'm just, look what I did. This would have looked so good with some crackle. Do the yellow, add crackle, and then do the orange on top. That would have been so awesome. Next time. All right, I'm gonna just finish these edges. Y'all look at me. I am a hot mess today. Hot mess. Let's get this end. Tap, tap. All right, let's do the other side. That gives my canvas a little time to cool off, and then we'll hit it again. I hate like trying to dry paint when it's super thick because it tends to like start to bubble up if you like are forcing it to dry too much. We don't want that, do we? And oh, there we are. Now our sides kind of blend in a little better with the rest. I'm digging this, y'all. This is my favorite corner. This one here, it's got a good amount of the yellow still in it. So that is the one that is going to be up to the right because that'll be the most exposed. So now let's see if we can draw this again. That's right, Kelly. Women in general, I think, are allowed to be a hot mess. Somebody asked, what is crackle? I'm looking around to see if I even have anything. I know I did a little crackle sample recently, and I don't know what I did with it. Hang on. I actually bought several different crackle products that we are going to test out in the very near future. So hold for that. All right, almost there, guys. Pretty wet up here at the top. I think it's dry down here. This green bottle on this is going to be so awesome. Look at that. Animal print at Hobby Lobby. I thought everybody had animal prints. Laura, we're going to use Elmer's glue. Then we're going to also do, like, I think I have 5 different products. Elmer's glue, crackle paste, crackle size, and crackle texture. So we're going to do like several different versions just to see what we like. And just so I can show you guys how to do several things. Oh my goodness, Kelly. 23 great grand. Oh, I know you're a hot mess. Okay, I think we're good, and I'm also sweating, so we gotta stop that. All right, now our next order of business is to stencil. Now, I know you guys, some of you are professionals. I've seen your work, but some of us struggle with stenciling. So I'm gonna walk you through that about as slow as I can possibly walk you through. The first order of business is to have a stencil, right? And to make sure it fits well within your canvas, okay? What you don't want is she really? Oh my goodness. What you don't want is to start your stencil right here in the middle and then like try. Robin, there's a link at the top of this page. At the top of this live, there's a link for the stencil. All right, so I'm gonna start at the top, and I like to do like a high-low stencil, so you'll be able to see some of the script really well, and then it'll look like it's faded in and out. Okay, there is a link at the top of the page for the stencil brushes, the purple gems, the glass bottle, and the daubers, all at the top of this page, right? I've seen that stencil, that crackle stencil too. Actually may have one somewhere in stencil land. I have a tub, y'all, that is so full of stencils, y'all would not even believe it. I'll take a picture of it one day. So here's our first order of business. My first order of business is to find my plates so that where are my plates? Oh, here they are. So that I can put some paint, stencil brush. You want to start with the stencil brush, and you're always going, oh, Kelly, that's awesome. You're always going to use it dry, okay? You never start with a wet brush. Ever, never, never. You're going to always have a dry brush. I'm gonna pull this down since we're starting at the top. Second order of business, I gotta get rid of this plate, is a decent stencil brush, okay? You wanna have one that's full and that's long enough that it bends. Some of the brushes at Hobby Lobby, I picked out a link on Amazon for ones that I would purchase for myself. The ones at Hobby Lobby, when they have short, stubby little bristles, they're super hard and they're not flexible enough to really do a great job, in my humble opinion. If you're a professional stencilist and you like the short, stubby ones, kudos to you. Just my own opinion, okay? So we're gonna start with a dry stencil brush, our stencil, and you're going to want to have some paper towels on hand because you're gonna offload. We're gonna get color on our brush, and then we're going to offload on our paper towel so much that I don't know why, Christina, I almost bought some of them today. I clicked on it and thought I should buy like 20 of these. We're gonna offload so much of the paint that you're gonna think there's nothing left on this brush, okay? So to clean this, somebody said, how do you clean this? I literally will take soap in my hand, like just hand soap, and scrub the stencil brush into my hand and rinse until it comes clean, right? All right, this is my favorite way of using. Some people, yes, Susan, some people use makeup sponges, some people use the little round spongy thingies, but I learned how to stencil like when I was 20. That was like 40 years ago when I was 20. It's at the top of the page, Luz. You have to go out of this live and at the description on the top of the page. So just wait till this is over, or you can just tab out of the live, and at the top under the description it says today we're gonna do wine art. That's where the link is, right? So yeah, the stubby brushes are not great. So I've been using these kind of stencil brushes. Okay, I'll check it after this is over and fix it, all right? Just give me some time when this is over. So just follow me, and remember, if you have too much paint on your brush, you're gonna make a mess. That's how it's going to hit the link at the bottom of the page. Oh my goodness. I did not even know that was there. Catherine, you just taught me something new. Had no idea. All right, so we're gonna have more bottles, guys. Please be patient with us, and we're gonna get you some more bottles. All right, so follow my lead. Too much paint, not a good thing. Golden, splendid gold metallic is what we're using. I'm using a metallic paint. All right. This is DecoArt Splendid Gold. I'm gonna put a little on my plate, and watch what I'm doing. I've got my stencil placed where I want it, and because I'm using this in a high-low, on again, off again-esque kind of way, I'm not trying to make this stencil perfect. I'm not even going to like try to put any of this stuff on the back, all right? I'll get you a new stenciling. So here's what I'm gonna do. Dry brush, very important, all right? Oh, I've done that a million times. So, let's see. Dip in, okay? You're gonna get that gold on your brush. Do you see how much paint? I want you all to look at that. Do you see how much paint I have on that brush? Yeah? Give me some hearts if you can see how much paint is on that brush. When you look at that on your own, know this, that's too much paint, okay? This is very important step. So you're gonna take your paper towel, you're gonna take your brush, and you're gonna go in a circle and just do that, all right? And now look at that brush. Do you see that? It looks like I wiped it all off, didn't I? It looks 100% like I wiped every bit of that off. But watch this. All right, so I'm gonna hold my stencil down so it doesn't shift. And I am going to take straight up and down. All right, I'm gonna go straight up and down, and I'm gonna go in circles, all right? And because I don't wanna stencil every single bit of this, I'm just gonna kind of go random here and there. Now what I can do is peel back. Don't peel it off. Make sure you're holding it in place. Peel it back and see if you can see that on your canvas. What you don't want is to peel it back and see super wet paint. Okay, that means you have too much paint on your brush. I'm gonna go again. I'm going to get too much paint on my brush again, and I'm gonna offload, okay? Offload. Look and make sure that it looks like you've taken it all back off. I'm gonna put my hand here, and oops, that was excessive. And I am going to just randomly move it around because I want it to be very on again, off again. I don't know how to put it, distressed looking. Like some of the words are worn off. Does that make sense? Does that make any sense at all? I got too much paint right there. All right. I'm gonna come on down. I'm gonna load one more time. Yes, very subtle. Go in, offload, till it looks like you just got all the paint off. All right, I'm gonna hold this here. I'm gonna get my hand in a little bit of wet paint, but that's okay. And just add in a few more bits. And I'm gonna take a peek. Make sure you don't take it all the way off yet. Just take a peek. I like the way it looks, super subtle. You might not even be able to see that. All right, you might not even be able to see that. I'll show it to you really close up. But now I'm gonna take this up, and I am going to see where my last line is. And then I am going to just kind of place that really close. I'm gonna get more paint. That's a lot of paint. Let's get it off. Look how much. I'm gonna go to a clean spot so you can see exactly how much I'm taking off that brush. See that? All right, let me hold it. And I am swirling in circles. Push it around. Let me move my hand a little. Hey, Stephen Gray. He said, hey, sugar. So if you can see a lot of paint on your brush when you peek at it, it's too much. Now let's look again. Very subtle. I'm gonna do one more quickie. One more quickie. Yeah, you gotta offload. You cannot have a brush full of paint and then go to your canvas. You're gonna make a hot mess. So awesome. All right, I'm gonna try to see if I can show y'all this. Let me put my stencil down. Because of the way I stenciled, it's gonna be super hard, but I'm gonna see, can you see, oh look, can you see that? When I twist and turn it, you can see that subtle bit there. I'm trying to see if I can see that. Can y'all see it? Give me some hands. All right. It is super subtle. It's not something that you see, like just looking at it. You kind of just, it's like a very subtle, pretty little background. Except for right there where I got a little crazy, right? Very subtle. Love it. Love it. Now I'm gonna hit this. This is the only, I've ruined my other brush, and this is the only decent stencil brush I have left because I ruined my other one. And I did order more, but I don't have them, and I'm scared to put this in the water right now because I'm like, what if I need it again? I'm super paranoid. Super paranoid. So let's get this dry real fast. Make sure it's nice and dry. Very subtle. And yeah, you kind of have to move it around. I can see it really well from here, but on video, you kind of have to wiggle it around and let the light hit it just right to be able to see it, and that's okay. So the next thing we're going to do is our tracer, okay? So we're going to be adding grapes and a bottle. So I wanna kind of figure out where I want my bottle so I can figure out where I want my grapes. So I think my bottle is going to go right here-esque. That looks so good, y'all. So I think this is a good spot for oh Lord, I can't even use my words. A good spot for my tracer. All right, so I'm gonna tape that down. And I'm gonna get my plate back. Try not to break my bottle. It's the only green one I have. And we are going to just use our tracer to trace over our grapes and our leaf. All right, so we're gonna use that. And that. Okay, so this is taped down. So all I'm gonna do, slide this under. And I'm gonna make a little tick mark. I've drawn a line here because I want to add some shadow. So I'm gonna make a little tick mark right there so I'll know that's where kind of the top of my table is, right? All right, so now I'm just gonna take, I don't like this. That's better. I'm just gonna take my stylus, which is just a ballpoint pen with no ink, right? And I'm gonna trace down and trace my leaf. This one needed help. This little bitty baby leaf, when I was sketching this, I erased these leaves 47 times. And finally, I was just like, I just don't even care. This leaf is pitiful. It's hanging off the side. We're just going to do our best and worry about the rest later. All right? Now, I'm just gonna make some circles, all right? So when I do grapes, I like to start in the middle, but that's where you can see like the round ones. So when I'm sketching, I just start in the middle and make full round circles. And then you want to start doing like half circles or semicircles or portions of circles, right? Where the grapes kind of stack up on top of each other. All right, so we're gonna do that. And we're literally gonna use a dauber to make our grapes. And we're not gonna do anything special to them because we're gonna put all those gems right on top. And so you're not gonna be able to see most of it anyway. I just wanna have a little color underneath because the purple is not 100% opaque, all right? So look at there. There is, let me take this off. So I've marked a line where I need to add a little, oh my gosh, y'all, a little bit of a shadow for table. And keep myself in line over here. So I'm gonna do that first, and then we'll come back and add our grapes. Let me show you what we're doing. Can you see that? Our little grapes and our leaves. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna take some burnt umber, just brown, chocolate brown, just like a Hershey chocolate bar. I'm gonna squirt just the tiniest little bit on my plate. Don't need much, just the smidgiest. And I'm gonna get a brush, a large flat brush, like so. This is a 3/4 inch flat, great for shadows. All right, so let's wet that brush. Offload excess water. You want it to be damp, but not drippy, okay? You don't want it drippy. So, got a little bit of moisture. You can see it on your hand. That's perfect. Now I'm gonna go into this brown on just the corner of my brush, all right? So I am gonna go about 1/3 of the way across my brush. Can you see that? Just on that one corner. Now is where, all right, somebody tell me what the technological term for what I'm about to do next is. Swish, swish. Absolutely, you could use plastic grapes. So now I'm gonna take my brush, and I've got that brown loaded. You don't wanna go right to your paint or to your canvas because you're gonna make a hot mess. You're gonna take your brush and you're gonna go left, right, swish, 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 swish. So what that does is blends that excess paint into your brush so you can make a nice shadow. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. Here's my line around my grapes. I hope you can see that. And I am going to go right here and just add a little bit of that brown. And then I'm gonna add on this side, I'm gonna come all the way across. I don't quite have enough water on my brush, so let me do that again. Go in and swish, swish, swish. I do have orange on my brush now, so there's that. I'm gonna go across and create just a little bit of a table surface. That's not working out very well for me for whatever reason. But my bottle is gonna be sitting on top of that, so I'm not gonna stress about it. But here's what I am gonna do. Let's go back again and swish, swish, swish. And I'm gonna go around my grapes. I feel like I'm being awkward. So I'm gonna come around and just work around where my grapes are traced on. And we're gonna blend that out towards the edge. And don't worry about getting it in your grapes because it'll be fine. We're gonna be putting purple on the top of that, so it's no big deal whatsoever. All right, so we're just creating that little bit of a place for everything to be sitting, so it's not just floating on the canvas. All right, so we'll just add a little down here. Voila, now we're ready for grapes. Got any grapes? Who knows what that's from? Got any grapes? Actually, we're gonna do our leaves first. Let's do that. All right, so for our leaves, we're gonna do some green. This is a new green, but you could use whatever green you have. I don't cut the bottles, Peggy. I purchased them. So yeah, I don't even save my own wine bottles because I purchased them pre-cut from somebody, and they get gifted to him all the time. All right, new green, love it. So, so, so luscious. It's called Lush Green. So we're gonna put a little bit of that on our plate. And I'm gonna use that. Trying to decide. I might just use that and a little bit of white. Teeny bit of white. We'll see how that comes out. I should use some of that yellow. Hang on. I'm going to put a teeny bit of this color, the Golden Glow, that we used earlier. Just a tiny drop in case I need to tone down my green a little. So now I'm going to grab a brush, a little bit of a smaller, get it wet, get the excess water off, and I'm gonna go in with the Lush Green, and I'm gonna turn this way a little bit, y'all. And I am going to just fill in, go around your little tracer lines, and I'm just gonna fill in my green, or my leaf, sorry. Just fill it in with the green. This leaf needs help. She's a baby. Now we're gonna come over here. We're gonna do the same thing. Just fill it in. Make sure you're covering your tracer lines. You don't want anybody to see those lines. All right, so we're just gonna fill in with that color. Wiggle, 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 because the leaf is not perfect. So wiggle, wiggle. Let's come around. He only sells in bulk, Rennie. So unless we sent him 500 teacups, I'm pretty sure he doesn't. He only does bulk product. So, but he is sending me some liquor bottles, and I feel like if we continue to buy from him, that he may cut whatever we want. Just get that gut feeling. He was just tickled pink when I told him how fast you guys bought all the wine bottles he sent me. He was shocked. He was like, what are y'all doing with those? Because I didn't really even tell him at first. And, right. Just get that on. Now that one's about dry, so I'm gonna go back in and second coat it. I'm gonna fatten it up a little bit too and give it a little extra something, because it's kind of looking sad. And while that's wet, we're gonna add a little bit of yellow and maybe a little white. All right, so we want that wet. Offload, which just means scrub off some of that excess. I'm gonna grab a little bit of this yellow on my brush and just come in, and on one side of that leaf, I'm gonna add a little bit of that yellow. We just wanna get some depth. A little bit of that yellow. Now I think I'm gonna grab a little bit of white, only on the corner, and swish, swish, all right? And we'll add a little bit of white and give our leaf a little three-dimensional look. Can you see that? Dark colors are a lot. All right, let's offload. And we're gonna do the same thing to our other leaf, and then we're gonna start dabbing. A little dabble do ya. So we're gonna get, this leaf's a little bigger, so I may do half and half, because it's kind of warm in here, and it's kind of drying really fast. So let's get about half of that leaf done. I can see it drying on the edge already. Wipe off. I'm gonna grab a little bit of white, swish, swish, and I'm gonna come around and just add a little bit of white to the edges. A little bit more than that. And we'll add a little here. Now we'll do the other side. Little dab will do ya. All right, wipe it off. Grab a little yellow. Just on the corner, swish, swish. Just to blend it in your brush. I'm gonna come down the spine of that just a little bit with that yellow. Then I'm just gonna come around and add some of that yellow to the opposite side of my leaf. All right, a little bit more. Swish, swish. And that just gives our leaf just a little bit of dimension. So it doesn't look like a big flat, hang on. It doesn't look like just a flat green color. We want it to have, I don't do a lot of realism, but we do want it to look three-dimensional, right? All right, let's look. So here are our leaves. Not bad, not bad. So now I'm gonna do our stem too, but I think I'm gonna dab on, no I'm not, I'm gonna do our stem. I got the brown ready. I need a liner brush. Let me find one. I bought all those new, remember when I bought all those new liner brushes and now I don't know where they are. Okay, here's a liner brush. It's just a long, skinny little brush. All right, get it wet. I'm gonna go into that brown. I'm gonna roll into that color because I want it to be nice and saturated, but not drippy. So I'm just gonna roll, make sure there's lots of color. And then over here, I'm gonna roll again, just to make sure it doesn't drip, okay? So now I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna bring it, I'm gonna push down and pull towards my grapes. And you can push and release. When you push, I'm gonna come here again. I'm gonna do like this. The harder you push, the fatter it is, so then you can raise up a little to make it skinny, push down again to make it a little fatter, and make yourself a little grape stem. And I'm barely going into that leaf too. And voila. Now, while that is wet, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna offload. I'm gonna grab the tiniest bit of white, smush it into my brush so I end up with kind of a beige color, not white. And I'm gonna come down one side and I'm gonna add some of that white because this is what gives our stem dimension. Okay, this is what makes it look dimensional. Let's look at it close up. See what we did? Prayers for Rennie. What's going on with Rennie? What happened to Rennie? All right, now here's what I'm gonna do. I bought these at Hobby Lobby. Now, if you don't have these, you can totally use those little spongy thingies. Deanna, I know, it's crazy. Can you believe it? I'm shocked myself. So, they make these little stick daubers too, that are like a spongy brush. But I bought these at Hobby Lobby, so I feel like I need to use them. They're they look kind of like little pencil erasers. And there's 5 in a pack, and they were literally $1.50. And here's what they look like. All right. It just is like a little, almost looks like a makeup applicator, don't it? Just a little rounded little dauber. All right. And I think this big one is the perfect size for what we're doing. So I'm going to set these away, put them back in here or I'll lose them. That's how bad I am. I will lose them. So I'm going to add to my little palette. This is Delta Purple. That's going to be a hard one to remember. I'm just going to add some of this purple. And I'm literally going to press in to the paint with my little dauber. And we are going to make grapes. Now don't worry a whole lot about how these look. I'm literally only trying to get a little bit of color underneath my gems because they do have, they're not 100% opaque, okay? They do have a little clear to them. So I just want enough color that we are not going to be able to see the orange underneath. So we're just going to add our grapes. Add our grapes. Then we'll get these dry. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. I don't want any of that background to show. All right. So just dab in, and just because I cannot help myself, watch this. I'm gonna go in. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, and I have made a mess of my stuff before. I'm gonna go into that white just a little bit because I cannot help myself, and I'm just gonna make a few with a little bit of a lighter color on top because it wouldn't be me if I didn't, even though I know it's not going to show, right? Boom, boom, boom. All right, voila. Now let's watch. I don't have any idea. They came 5 to a pack, and this one is the largest. So I don't know. It just says 5 daubers. I think it's a ½ inch. It says they range from 0.31 to 0.55. So I'm using the biggest one. So there's your answer. They're so cheap at Hobby Lobby. So there's our grapes. So let's get them dry. I love this color, especially with the gold background. Oh, look, y'all. Hang on. I missed a whole grape right there. I need to get a different dauber. Missed a whole grape. I was like, look at my shadowing. And I was like, oh my. Look at that. Let's do a grape right here. Here we go. Now, look at my water cup, y'all. That'll probably sit here for 3 days. I'm bad. I can't do that. Make me, before we log off, make me do it. I just wiped off with my heat gun half of my purple. I hit my heat gun. I was looking at something else, and I just wiped it off. I don't even care. There is no room for water. Maybe if Steve comes in, I could get him to clean that for me. Yeah, I just swiped half of it off. I'm not even gonna care. It's gotta be dry though. Oh, Julie. Oh, I'm not gonna be here, remember? I got company. Alright, almost dry, y'all. Almost. Thank you for the sprinkles, Melinda. I know. I'm going to have to make it a habit, Becky. I'm going to have to make it a habit. Look, that's dry. So, while that is cooling off, I'm going to grab my handy dandy pen from Hobby Lobby, and we're going to just do a little bit of outline right onto our canvas, down. Just outline short strokes, and we're going to outline our leaves too. So let's go stroke, stroke, neat, short, quick, easy. Don't try to outline perfectly. It's going to look better if you don't. Trust me. We'll make a few little lines. And let's do this side. Short, quick, messy. Strokes. All right, I'm gonna just do the outside a little in case some of that shows. That's still kind of sticky. All right, let's see. All right. That's funny. Don't go to sleep. That's so funny. All right, now let's stick our bottle here. OMG, that's gonna look so good. Guys, I looked and looked and looked for like a napkin or something I could decoupage onto this bottle. I couldn't find anything, but that is our next thing. We're gonna figure out how to really dress these bottles up as well. All right, so I'm trying to make sure I got my colors straight. What color did I use? Burnt orange and yellow, then purple, gold, green, white. All right. Yes. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to mix up some resin because we are going to paint. We're going to apply a thin coat of resin. And while that resin is on, I could put gold leaf on there. I think I'm gonna skip it for this live because we've already been live like an hour. But we're gonna do something fun. I'm gonna try to do 3 or 4 different things using the, oh, that is so cool, Sandra. That was a great idea. You know what would be pretty too? Is if we took this stencil, which is very similar, this stamp, which is very similar to our stencil, and put it on like tissue and like whoop, and did that on there. I don't think it would dry on the bottle in time for us to do it, or that it would show up unless it was clear. But next bottle we do, we're gonna do hour and a half. Next bottle we do, I'm sorry y'all. Next bottle we do, we'll do something fun. All right, so these are our grapes. So we're gonna do a layer of resin, then we're gonna lay our grapes down, drizzle a little bit of resin on top, and then we're gonna add more grapes so it's dimensional and it is like a pile, all right? So let's go ahead. And then we're gonna put our bottle down into the resin and we'll put a little bit of resin on the inside. I'll need to wipe the dust out of there. Make sure there's resin on the edge. put it back down, and we'll put a little bit of resin there as well. I think for safety, I am going to make 2 ounces of resin. Just feel like that's a safe number. All right, so let me grab my cup and try to clear my area a little bit. We're gonna have some fun with these wine bottles, y'all. I am determined. 30. Well, I can't find anything. And marker. All right, so we're gonna do 2 ounces. Oh, that's funny, Margaret. Okay, so I'm gonna mark this one at 1 ounce and this one at 1 ounce. Then we'll dump them into there. All right. So, gloves. Oh, that's so cool. That's what I told Steve too. I said, even if, you know, we buy wine bottles and or liquor bottles from my dude, you know, we could try cutting wine glasses or perfume bottles or little vases, stuff like that, just for fun. And just so we could teach you guys too. If he can do it, he needs to teach us, right? All right, so glove up. I should have some. He's shipping them tomorrow, Patrick. So I should have them by Friday, or they'll be on, if I get them on Friday, they'll be on the website on Monday, because we have to do inventory. Because we had 22 broken bottles, and I started with resin instead of hardener, y'all. Oh, that is a first. All right, that's resin. Now hardener. I think I'll show you, before we start mixing, I'll show you the background with the different colors. 1 ounce of hardener. All right. All right, so there is my mix. So let me show you before I start mixing. So with the brown, this is brown, lovely, looks just as good. This is the green one that we're using. And the light green, this is the light green. I know we don't have it. And I know you probably don't want to use clear, but the clear with a nice label would look pretty too. All right, we're using that. Do you want me to use the brown just so you can see it? Can you use an air dry clay label? You would resin it just about any other way. Girl, if we had red glass, I'd be using it. If we had red glass, I'd be selling it. We are in process of red glass, but it takes a hot minute. All right, so cup, let's dump our resin and start to mix it. All right. Absolutely, you could paint wine in the bottle. Just use some Burgundy, Merlot, whatever. It's probably not going to show up as much in the darker bottles, but you could do it for sure. It might take several coats as well. So hardener and resin. Y'all, I have so many ideas for these wine bottles. I could probably do wine bottle art every day for the next 2 weeks. And backgrounds. Oh, The backgrounds in my head are just crazy. That's why it takes 2 hours. Thank you, Catherine. All right, let's see. Oh, Sherry, yes, always do that. And if you're consistent about doing like I do, hardener, resin, hardener, resin. If you're consistent about that, then you make less mistakes too. All right, so we're gonna mix for 3 minutes. So if anybody has any questions while I'm mixing, it's a great time. Oh, that would be so cool. I have so many ideas, y'all. Oh, Lord. So any questions you have, any ideas you have, just let me know. You got 3 minutes of my undivided attention where I can look at the screen instead of what I'm doing. I can show you how to do that, Margaret. I can show you how to cut a wine cork in half, and I just use a box knife. I've got an idea written down about lights in the bottle. I can't wait to do that. Not yet, Becky. I don't know. Maybe next vacation? I don't know. What were your ideas about the glasses with the littles inside them? Oh, I just was showing them off because all I could think about, Melinda, was if that broke off inside your glass, like I like metal straws, and if that broke off inside your glass and you didn't even know it, you would be sucking down glass bits. But I did think they were super cute, but I don't think I'd ever mix anything with them. But wouldn't that be cute if you could cut it in half? Boom, 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 boom. So we're stirring gently. Sue, I only wore one because I bought all 3, and then 2 of them I hated. I think the one that everybody was like saying would look awesome is the one I hated the most. All right. Lucy, I buy them from a man wholesale who custom cuts them for me. So yeah, I only wore one. I didn't even take but one because the others were awful. So at my age, thank you, Catherine. At my age, you gotta be careful. One of them just looked so ridiculous. I'm gonna give it one more quick stir. I am, Lucy. I think we're sold out right now, but I'm waiting on a shipment. He's supposed to ship them tomorrow, so I should have them by Friday. So if you'll give me a couple days, we'll have those back on the website. All my folks bought them all so fast that these actually came from a little store here in town called The Ultimate Gifts. And they're just like guitar strings. Yeah. No, Tina, don't send me bottles to cut. I'm looking for my spread. Don't send me bottles to cut because I'm not cutting them. Somebody out of state is cutting them for me. So don't send them. And he has like so many because I asked him, did he want me to start saving? And most of the bottles I drink out of are green. And he was like, I got 10,000 green bottles. Don't send them to me. So I think he gets them. I'm just going to dump like a line of resin up the top. And we're just gonna spread a thin layer over the whole thing. Wouldn't that be cute? Yes. My son and his wife got married at a brewery. Wouldn't that have been a cool idea to cut a beer mug in half or something and add their information? That would have been so cute. Oh my goodness, so adorable. So I'm just spreading it. I'm gonna do a thin layer over the entire canvas. And then we're gonna start layering our grapes, all right? So just bear with me 1 second while I spread. And this really makes the gold stenciling pop. I know you can't see it right now because it's laying flat, but I'll show it to you. I'll try to show it to you in just a minute. A little bit more for the top. And voila, I think we're good. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to take my little bucket of purple. It's called a silicone spreader, Joni. And my mom has a bottle tree, Margaret. These are round on the top and flat on the bottom. So these center pieces, I'm doing them upside down. Okay, so I'm gonna add in some of these purple and I'm putting them flat side up for the center where I really want to pile, because I can put another layer and then I can put them right side up and they'll sit nicely, right? Does that make sense? Let's do one here. I just need to dump some of these out. And we're just gonna start layering our, get out of there. Start layering your little thingies. These beads are all the same. There's the mini ones, okay? These are the little mini gems. They're not the bigger ones that you get like in the floral department at Michael's or stuff. These are smaller. All right, I'm gonna flip that one upside down. And I did. These came from Amazon. The link is in the header. All right. And now I'm going to drizzle a little resin over the top of this layer. And we're going to do another layer of grapes. That way they'll stick and they won't slide off. If we just try to layer the beads on top of each other, they'll slip and slide around and won't work as well. All right, so now I'm just gonna layer on top and I'm gonna fill in holes and gaps, okay? I love the blue bottles. All right, so I'm just filling in gaps between. Oh, this is annoying me. Hang on, I'm gonna dump. Ugh. Whew. All right, just lay right on top of existing. Oops, that one's upside down. And create that dimension the grapes have, right? Got any grapes? All right. I might do one or two more. So let me drizzle on here again. Now you know why I put that cardboard in the back, right? Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to do 1, 2. Whoa. Settle down, Homer. Oops. 3. All right, let me put a little bit of resin on those. Oh. All right, now here's what we're gonna do. That looks really good. I can't wait to show it to you in the end. But what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna take a little bit, I'm gonna flip my bottle where I can put some resin in here, okay? So what I'm gonna do is, I'm actually only gonna put on the edge, I think. Hang on. I don't want it dripping. I'm trying to decide. Wouldn't that have been great if we had, oh, I did not dust it. Hang on. And it's been in this dusty building. Thanks for reminding me. What else do you have to remind me of, guys? All right, I'm literally gonna I'm gonna put a pile of resin right here, and I'm gonna use my hands. I'm gonna use my finger, and I'm gonna go around the edge, because this is where it's gonna touch the canvas. So it's like putting glue on both sides of something to make sure it sticks. Let's flip it. That's right. Now watch, I'll forget again. Y'all better not let me. Lou, Julie. All right. Now I'm just gonna kind of scrape my finger along that inside edge just to give it a little resin on that lip, and it's gonna run down into my piece. Ugh. Hey, Tina. Your mama's on here a minute ago. I don't know if she still is or not. All right. Scrape, scrape. Oh, it's too late for curly cues. It's too late for that. All right, now I'm going to place my, oops, that's smeary. Hang on. I'm gonna place my bottle right wherever I wanted it. Now I gotta move my grapes around. And I wanna make sure it's even and not tilted. Let me stand up and look down. Oh, maybe I have one, hang on. That looks so good. Oh. All right, so now what I'm gonna do, I'll look for some vitrigraph in a second, but what I'm gonna do now, I've got way too much resin, but if we use vitrigraph, maybe we'll use it all. I'm gonna drizzle some on the top of my bottle, and then I'm gonna use my brush to make sure it drips down, okay? Because you wanna make sure it drips down your sides and sticks that bottle to your canvas. Make sure there's like a little seal, right? Oh. So make sure you cover the whole bottle. I'm gonna use my fingers in a minute. This is driving me crazy. It's not a far drive. Not at all. Let's do, whoops. Let's do the bottom. All right, now I'm gonna run my hands around and make sure everything's nice and covered. Then we'll go look for some vitrigraph. All right, so hang on. I'm just gonna do this with my hand. Make sure there's plenty of resin. No skippies. All right, I think we're golden. All right, let me look at the rest of my canvas. Oops, there's some debris. And I got a little skippy right there. I'm gonna hit this real quick with my heat gun, and then if you are prepared to hang around for a few more minutes, we will look for some vitrigraph. What do you think? I'm gonna take these gloves off. Hit it with our heats. Whoops, I blew a grape off. We'll fix it in a second. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna see what kind of vitrigraph we have. I have all the colors. So let me see, what color should we use? That's what I should ask you guys. I'm coming back around because I need some vitrigraph color suggestions. Well, I don't have a cork here at work, so I can't do that. But yeah, if I had cut a cork in half and stuck it down in there, or even just like if you're using an 11 by 14 for this, you could just lay the cork on the side of the canvas as well. So vitrigraph color, give me a suggestion so I can search for the right thing. They're glass gems. There's a link in the posts. That would be cute too, Gretchen. Brown. We all agreed on brown. Brown, brown, brown. Okay, let me get some. Let me see what we got. Curly vitro, curly brown. We got curly brown in the house. We got red. We got green. We might have to settle for green. Oh, this looks dark brown. Look at there. Yeah. I got dark brown, y'all. Hang on. Hang on. Clear. Blue. All right, I found the dark brown. I'm coming back, I promise. For whatever reason, I felt like I had to look at every color I own. Don't know why. Don't know why. All right, coming back. Dark brown, dark brown. Dark brown, dark brown. Let's see. What do we got? Let's pull out a couple pieces. Look at this one. Oh, that's excessive, but if that's not curly, I don't know what is. Hey. Are we putting this out of the stem? I need a curly cue, like a cirrus curl. Hang on, I'm digging through, y'all. This is a mess. Y'all know, if y'all get this stuff, you know. Look at that one. That one is very interesting. Oh, I think we may be able to make that work. Watch this. I'm gonna break it here. Maybe. Hang on. Let me get my cutters. This is a thicker piece. I'm gonna break it like right here with my nips. Oh, I just touched my arm. Hang on. Hang on. I laid my arm right in it. Yeah, these are the curliest ones I got for today. We're gonna see what we think. I gotta get this resin off my arm first. Yee. Now what I do with the piece I just cut. Lord have mercy. Oh, this one, hang on, look. This won't be too bad. Look at this. Let's see, maybe like that. That's not too bad. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, I need a super curly one, but I don't really have a super. This is so curly, but it's such a big curl that I don't know. Hang on, let's see what this is. This is connected somehow, some way. Look at that one. See, they're just big curls, so it's hard to know. Let me see. Let's do here and here. We just made another like similar shape to what we had, but we're gonna lay it in. And that looks like a bow. I don't know that I like that. It's too similar, and then it looks like I tied a bow around the piece. We may have to go with just the one, and I'm gonna have to ask my peeps to send me some super curly. Dadgummit, I did it again, y'all. I laid my arm in that bottle. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna have to be happy with that. Now let's take the rest of this resin and like put where I just keep laying my arm in. Let's go over the top of my vitrigraph to make sure it doesn't break. And I will definitely be on the lookout for more curls. Now I did 2 ounces. I still have at least a ½ ounce left. So you don't need quite that much for this project. I'm gonna put a little of it up here at the top where it's a little bare. Let me see if I have dark green. And a little there. Let me see. Let me try one more time and then we're gonna give up. Let's look. Dark green. On the search. I got straights. I got super skinny. I got straight, skinny. It's all pretty much the same as what I already had. It's all nothing curly. I need like tight curls. Let me see. So I think we're just gonna stick with what we got, unless this last bit has something. Let's see. Let's look in this bag. Oh, Kristen's gonna kill me, y'all, with all this stuff laid out. Let me look in this bag of green. See what we have. It is wine 30. Y'all are all up on my wine time. Let's see. Oh, that looks like a music note. Oh my goodness, that might work. I wish this was like a smaller version of itself and I could just lay it in. But I think this little curl, it looks like a C. Golly, I did it again. Oh my gosh. All right, hang on. Oh, y'all, that's funny. I don't think so. We're gonna figure that out for the next one though. I'm gonna put a little bit of resin on this one just to make sure it doesn't break. And then we're gonna pre-plan better for the next one. I'll ask my buddies over at JL if I can have some super curl. There we go. All right, I'm gonna hit this with my heat gun again. That looks like an S. Look at that. All right, let's hit it with the heat gun again, and then we're just gonna have to let things be. All right, let's look at this close up and personal. Definitely want to do something with a label for next time. But for now, let's take a peek. Let me move everything out of the way. I'm making a mess. Let's check it out. Oh, look at that. I know it's sideways. It's about the only way I can get really close. Look at the grapes. Super cute. I love this piece. This is really super awesome. I look at it and I can think of, oh, I didn't. I look at it and I can think of 72 things I would do different, or maybe the next piece, I'm just gonna scoot that over. The next piece, I'll add this, or the next piece, I'll add that. We're gonna definitely do more than one because I have too many ideas floating around in my head.